Hello, everyone. I'm Lauren Lola, and I'm the distribution manager for the Center for Asian American Media. Thank you for sticking around. And I'm so happy to be here with all of you to discuss these amazing films you just viewed. Just as a refresher, you just watched the From the Streets of Japan Shorts program, where we got a glimpse at these two dynamic shorts exploring new stories from Japan. So we're going to start off by discussing Winter Terrace. Winter Terrace is the story of three wandering souls on a cold winter night as they eat, drink, and play their way in another dimension. I would like to welcome now Asuka Lin, the director of the film. Asuka?
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. I hope I can speak for many when I say I really enjoy this film. It's just
Oh, thank
so
you.
beautifully done. I really like it.
Thank
Can
you so
you
much.
start by discussing how you came up with the idea for the film?
Yeah, Wes, the co-director, and I really wanted to collaborate on a short film together. And since both of us were going to be in Tokyo at the same time, we decided to collaborate on something. And both of us were talking about how izakayas and just like Tokyo at night and like wandering the streets at night were just these like different themes and specific memories that we wanted to evoke in a film. So we wanted to make some kind of film that played with like documentary aesthetics and improvisation and like a loose narrative arc that kind of dealt with all these different themes. So we kind of got together and wrote down kind of like a loose narrative of the whole movie, and then all the dialogue and stuff is like pretty improvised, and we kind of like made the story all together towards editing. Yeah.
So you wrote it while you two were in Tokyo?
Yeah. So we like met up in Tokyo and we were like, okay, what do we want to do with this film, and like what are we going to talk about? And we had these like three main points where the main scene, which was in the izakaya and just like talking and eating food, and then the other two scenes would just be like scenes of us walking, scenes of us greeting each other, and then eventually saying goodbye and like kind of disappearing. So um, it was all very tied to the settings that we were shooting in, um, and yeah, so it was like pretty loose, and we decided everything right then and there. Yeah.
Wow, that I didn't realize that there was such that it was put together that quickly. That is incredible.
Yeah. I think like it was we decided to shoot it in like a documentary style to
Mm.
make it feel like a documentary, um and then towards the end when you see us disappear and go into like the temples and stuff, it's like this suggestion that there is something magical but not
Mhm.
explicitly stating that. Yeah.
I definitely got that vibe from it for sure. How did you find the actors for this film?
Well, the actors is just me, Wes, and our friend Abe, who is also
Oh.
the same person who scored the film. So it was a very, I don't know, insular cast and crew. Like it was just the three of us pretty much. And then our friend Ari is the one who wrote the folktale. That's like the poem that shows in text in the beginning and at the end. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so it was like very small. Like like the crew was also the cast, and we were all just sort of like taking turns filming each other. Yeah.
So it was a very collaborative process, and it sounds like everyone was wearing a lot of hats at once.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, so in the description for the film, you described the film as meant to parallel the Asian American diaspora culture about how when we return to the motherland and what our take would be on it. I mean, can you elaborate further on this concept and whether you yourself experienced this in your own life?
Yeah, I mean, um, Wes, Abe, and I were all talking about how this idea of the motherland and like Asian diaspora. So, like, I feel like a lot of Asian Americans talk about like this experience of going back to the country that you immigrated from, and this very specific feeling of like a nostalgia for a place that you've never really had a full experience in. So I was born in Japan, and I lived there for the first 6 years of my life, and then I moved to America, and I think west from Vietnam, and I think Abe is Japanese Vietnamese. So we were all just kind of like scattered around the globe and discussing our individual experiences and how they sort of inform narratives of diaspora and nostalgia and memory. So the way that we constructed the film was sort of to emulate that feeling of this like slightly magical place that is far away, even when you're there, you know? So I specifically wanted to shoot streets of Tokyo at night when they were completely empty, because that's a scene that nobody sees. And I don't know, and just like alleyways and empty streets and like, you know, the rivers at night, and just these like shots of where nature and city and mysticism interconnect, and how all those different types of themes that where they meet is like such a magical thing. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. So how was making this film compared to previous projects you've done?
It was definitely very like meditative, and I think it was more so an exploration and a documentation of our friendships together, I think, because it was just simply documenting our times together and just like us hanging out. So it wasn't necessarily like there was never a pressure to do anything in front of the camera or like act a certain way. So there definitely was a more intimate meditative experience, especially filming at a temple or at a shrine was like so I guess like spiritual and I don't know, much more calming than usual shoots, because in my usual shoots I work with like at least 10 other people on set, and so I'm very scatterbrained and like I'm like you're always pressed on time on set, like there's always so many things to do on set, but now for this film it was like way more slowed down. Yeah.
Nice. I'm told that we're just about out of time. Before we go, where can audiences follow you and your work? And if you want to, is there anything you're working on currently?
Yeah, I think you can follow me on Instagram at Asuka_bot. It's ASUKA_BOT. And I post a lot of my work on there. And right now I'm currently working on a film kind of in the same type of, I guess, like mood as this film. And it's about how I'm living in like this really old house, and I find a bird that has fallen through a fireplace, and it's going to be a puppet. So I'm pretty excited to shoot that pretty soon.
I look forward to viewing it. It sounds really intriguing already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Asuka, thank you so much again for letting me talk to you about Winter Terrace. Again, just hang tight until the end of the presentation. We'll bring you back in with everyone else.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, next we're going to talk about Son of Memories. As a refresher, Son of Memory follows the death of a young son of a couple, and the mother in particular is struggling with whether or not to pursue the opportunity of restoring him for only 49 days. So please welcome the filmmaker Hayato Ando and Beth, Cary, who will be serving as his translator. Hello, Hayato. Hi, Beth. How are you both doing today?
Good.
Much like Winter Terrace, I was very intrigued by this film. I thought it was very beautifully done. Hayato, how did you come up with the idea for the film?
This idea is like, this project was not designed to tell this story about this, how can I say like it? it's not designed to tell the story about this movie. Like in my own experience, there were several events that caught my heart, and then story was born by connecting those events, and then the story just came up.
Nice.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. It has a very heavy sci-fi element to it. The film.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself a sci-fi fan? And if so, what is it about the genre that intrigues you?
ちょっと翻訳してもらってもいいですか？
SF、サイファイの要素が結構あるんですけれど、隼人さんはサイファイのファンなんですか？それ
Yeah. Yes, I really want to talk about that because the reason why I make this film is I really love the CG. When I was a kid, I saw the Terminator 2, Jurassic Park, and I really love the CG. And the CG just keep me the dream. I feel like, oh, I want to do this kind of thing. And then fortunately, I'm working as the commercial film director. So I know how to use the CG, I love the CG. But, with the development of the technology, it's becoming possible to replicate the disease. I think in 2012, I saw the Coachella Live on the YouTube. You know the Coachella Live, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, on YouTube, I saw the Tupac performing on the stage, but the Tupac is replicate the CG. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like so impressed. I feel like, wow, the CG can give that life. It's I know it's digital, it's temporary, but I feel that. Yeah, I feel that, and then I just feel like with the development of technology, it's becoming possible to replicate the disease. In the film, the disease can be reproduced using the CG and can be shown on the screen as if they are actually alive. But those technologies surprise us and may even move us profoundly. Why those technologies are currently being using in the big budget entertainment production. But in the future, that those technology penetrate our society and become available for anyone to use, we will presumably feel not only surprises but other emotions as well. And yeah, so if restoring your family member, what if such a technology can be used? What if technology is developed to such an extent that the disease can be replicated and it can interact with you? Will you feel hesitant to deploy it? Will you have affection toward it? What will we do such a technology? So I made this film in order to depict the kind of dilemma we may face in the near future as the digital technology evolve. Yeah. So this idea is from, I love the CG, I love sci-fi.
Definitely, yeah. And then that was an interesting point you made about like there being a CG Tupac at Coachella several years ago. I almost forgot about that. But it's interesting how there's that technology that's already started being developed to temporarily bring someone back to life, as you said. How was it working with the actors in this film?
Well, actually, I just did the audition. My job is making a commercial music video, so I did a lot of audition, and I asked the casting guy, and I showed them my film script, and then I did the audition like 12 people, and then I found a really nice, good actress. So.
So how was working on this film compared to your previous works?
It's これちょっといいですか、翻訳しても。
以前の、作品、と、この作品、の、作業っていうかその手順そういうものはどういうふうに違ってますか？
Okay. Well, actually, this recent work is much more. I really focusing on my personal. I'm working as a commercial director, but commercial director is not like for me. It's for everyone because commercial. I've never expressed 100% from my feeling. So this work is much more my personal experience, personal feeling. So it's really hard, but I feel like really, I want to identify who am I. So it's much more personal work.
Mhm. So one thing that I wanted to ask about regarding the film is that the technology that's presented allows to bring someone back for only 49 days. I was wondering why only 49 days?
Yeah. Like in the film, and the idea of 49 days, we call Shiju Kunichi. This is presented. This idea has a special significance for the Japanese people. It's referred to Buddhist service where following the funeral, the ashes of the deceased will be kept for the 49 days at home instead of immediately being put away in the tomb. So that's our ritual. So in Japan, the spirit of the deceased is believed to remain in this world during those 49 days. The period is meant for the spirit to find peace with itself, while the remaining family members remember the deceased as they live alongside them. So I also feel that the period of the 49 days is meant for those that have been left behind to come to town with the fact of that they're having a lost loved one. So once the ashes have been placed in the tomb, the deceased no longer exists in this world. So giving such a belief and ritual in Japan, I believe such a service as the one depicted in the film may appear one day. So, and that's why. That's our culture.
I see. I had a feeling there was probably some significance to it, but now it makes a lot more sense now that you put it that way.
Yeah. And it's also inspired by the Indonesia. Do you know the Trojan people from Indonesia? The Trojan peoples, they have also unique rituals. To the Trojans, the death of their loved one is not final and the death itself. It's viewed as the single most important event of the life cycle. When the Trojan dies, the deceased is embalmed and placed at home. They are not considered dead until the funeral takes place, which could be months or years later. So in the interim, they deemed as sick, and the household members tend to them round the clock with the food and beverages. They are treated as a guest, and it is not uncommon to have more than one sitting alone in the home. So they also have a very unique culture.
I see. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, thank you for telling me that. So I think that seems like the kind of film where people will take away different interpretations of it. For you, what do you think this film is trying to say regarding loss of a loved one?
これ僕いいですか？
いろいろな解釈の仕方が皆さん、視聴者の方たちが取っていくと思うんですけれど、あなたのためにはどういう、愛する人を亡くすっていうことはどういう意味を持つものでしょうか。
これちょっと説明難しいのでちょっと日本語で言いますね。この映画で愛することを失うっていうことは、これ普通のメッセージなんですね、普通に。いわゆる失った時に忍ぶ、相手のことを思うってことが重要なだけで、それが単純にデジタルに変わっても結局変わらないなというふうに思ってはいます。なので、このいいどうぞ。
So I think everybody can understand the feeling of loss when a loved child dies. And I think it's normal to do that. And my point was that even if it's digital, it's still the same feelings that people have toward losing a child.
I see.
なので、もう一個だけ。だから、これを要は復元するとかしないとかっていうよりか、相手を思いやるって気持ちが すごく重要なので、まあ、このメッセージと言いたいこととしては、まあ、今目の前に置かれている現状をどう生きていくかっていうことをちょっと表現したかったですね。
So the feeling of thinking about or having one's emotions toward that loved one who has died does not change, but the idea is to think about it and feel for that loved one right in the moment, currently, so that they can go beyond eventually.
I get it. I see. I think we're just about out of time. Hayato, where can people follow you and your work?
もう一回ですか？
どこでフォローできますか？
I have Instagram and Facebook. So should I send my link something?
Or
Do-
if you want to say it out loud, you can.
Yeah. Please find hayatoandy.com. That's my website, hayatoandy.com.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Hayato, Beth, thank you so much for being here to discuss Son of Memory. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Before we go, Asuka, can you come back, please? Yeah, thank you all again for letting me talk to you about your films. As I said before, they were both so beautifully done. I really liked them. I'm sure the audience really liked them too. So thank you so much again for your time and for letting me talk to you about them.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, that just about does it. I really hope you liked this shorts program. If you enjoyed what you saw and want to support CAAM and our future programs, please consider joining as a member or make a donation. Please click the link above the player for more information. With that said, thank you again. Please enjoy the rest of the festival and stay safe. Take care. Bye.